Good afternoon. It's August 27th, 2004, and this afternoon, on behalf of Southwest Georgia Regional Library, Tom Bush and I are interviewing Pete French on his experiences during World War II. Pete, tell us when you joined how you started all this. I believe you started in Texas.
Right, correct. Winsboro, Texas. It's a small town.
And you joined in 1939, you joined the National Guard.
Correct.
Texas National Guard.
Correct.
And you were 17 years old.
I had just, right at 18. My birthday's in August. So it was, I'm thinking, I forgot, but I had a cousin 6 months younger than me. And the captain told us to go out there and walk around a drill hall and come back and tell him we was 18 years old, which we did, and we got accepted into the National Guard. That's the way he went.
And I believe you told me you joined the Guard so you could help buy some clothes.
To go to high school.
To go to high school.
Right.
You didn't have any idea war was coming in 1930.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
In fact, we made a lot of maneuvers down in Louisiana with the National Guard. And sometimes we'd be down there for maybe a week or something, but I think one time we spent a month or so in Louisiana, swamps of Louisiana, always in the National Guard
And
training.
you were being trained at that time as a BAR man? Or?
Well, most of the time, but
A BAR, a Browning Automatic Rifle.
that's correct. But I was also expert rifleman. In fact, I got medals for being a good rifleman. And all this went together. It depended on the situation as to which I was carried.
But you were trained, you were really trained as an infantryman.
Correct.
Now, when did you join the 36th Division? Was that after you? Okay.
That was the 36th Division when I got in the National
What
Guard.
is the 36th Division? Is that the Texas Division?
That's correct.
The,
But this one regiment, they called it the Bastard Regiment. When we all, the whole division went there into Texas, and that's when we were mobilized. And we stayed in tents there for, I don't know how long, until the war was D-Day, till the war was declared.
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, when Pearl Harbor was hit.
Where were you when Pearl Harbor came about?
I was at home. The same cousin I was telling you about, was stationed in Oklahoma at that time. He had joined the regular army. And like I say, we were down southwest of Dallas there. I think now it's Fort Hood, I think. But anyway, our hometown was about 100 miles east of Dallas. And we would meet in Dallas. He'd come from Oklahoma, and then we'd go down and spend the weekend at home. And we were down there that weekend at Pearl Harbor. And when I got back, we didn't stop packing. We finally got on the train Wednesday morning, but we didn't sleep anything. Everything was being loaded onto the train, and that's when we pulled out, went up into Washington State, Puget Sound, and that area.
What do you mean the Pearl Harbor was on Monday and you shipped out?
No,
on Sunday.
Right.
Sunday.
And like I say, we were on weekend leave, this one cousin and myself, and he was in regular army. He thought he'd be leaving, and I didn't think anything about it. But when I got back, they were already packing, and we didn't sleep any until Wednesday got on the train. From Sunday afternoon till Wednesday morning, we loaded up tents.
December of 1941.
Right, Pearl Harbor.
And you went to California?
Got up to Puget Sound up in Washington State.
Yeah.
Up there.
Well, you'd already been trained and all that, and were you still in the Texas Division?
No, not in the 36th Division. Well, that's when we shipped out. They had separated us before Pearl Harbor.
Oh, okay.
They had taken this one regiment out of the 36th Division before Pearl Harbor.
Well, when you got to Washington, what you guys did? Did you
We guarded, oh man, we shot everything that moved. But we guarded railroad bridges, highway bridges, main bridges, and up and down the coast. And they had just started with those airplane bombing sites. And we had to guard those planes. They just had invented them, I guess, or
You
installed
mean
them.
the bombing sites?
The Nordic?
The Nordic bombing site.
Yeah. They had just come on, and we would guard those at night, and then every morning they were expecting the Japs to attack any time, and every morning we had to go out and set up or lay down in a perimeter all the way around that area and guard about 10 o'clock in the morning or so, and just lay out there watching for any plane or anything that might come over. We spent quite a while there. I don't remember the dates that we spent in each place, but we came on back down into California. Well, we worked in Portland, Oregon, and up and down the coast in California, Oregon, and Washington State. And then I was sent to Florida.
Well, why'd you go to Florida?
Well, I don't really know. We left California on a train, and I don't know how long it took us. We went through all the way through Cheyenne, Denver, Omaha, Chicago, and then for some reason, I still don't know, but they had spotted a submarine off the coast of Florida long about that time. I don't recall just when it was, but, and I'm thinking that's one of the reasons they sent us down there was to, we guarded the coastline all the way up and down
Florida?
Florida.
Yeah.
And nobody one was allowed to cross over to the beaches, you might say, unless they had proper identification. And we worked with the Coast Guard and the Border Patrol, guarding all those bridges and everything going to the coastline of Florida.
Where were you camped?
Well, we were different. They'd send, for instance, about 25 men would go up to, say, St. Augustine. 25 would stop in Palm Beach, and 25 would be down in Hollywood. Or they split it up and just have a crew enough to stand guard on whatever they were guarding. You could stand guard on it 24 hours a day.
You went in the National Guard, you had what we referred to as those 10 helmets.
Oh, yeah.
And then you transferred. When did you get the new helmets? You remember? You were in the group that threw away the 10 helmets and got the new
We
ones.
had the old metal helmets all along.
But you didn't have the World War I helmet?
No, I never had that.
You never had those World War
No.
I?
Just
The
regular metal helmets.
the ones that got the ones you had.
Yeah.
Right.
And the ones I had.
The heavy ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, but hot.
And well, did you ship it out from Florida?
No.
Or you went back to California?
No, we went to, from Florida, went to Mississippi. And and that's where I shipped out from, was from Mississippi to California, down to California, on the way overseas.
You went from Mississippi back to California.
Yeah.
And then you shipped out, was this 1942, 43?
Must have been, I don't recall, 42 or whenever it was there. It probably might have been, I don't really recall.
But then you went to California and you shipped out from there
To New Guinea.
to New Guinea.
Right.
Where did you land? You landed in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
You still had the VA on.
Yeah, but I got transferred right away. And you see, my rating called for, back then you couldn't believe a lot of people, but my rating called for postal work. T5, I was first told it was for a flag bearer. And if we had a parade, I had to carry the flag most of the time. But then I got to studying all this. I started looking into a lot of this stuff, and I found out it actually was postal rating.
You got any idea how you got that?
The rating?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was the only man in the company that could use a typewriter, and they made me company clerk. And my captain at that time, he was the first school teacher I went to when I first started school, but I didn't live up, was in a country school, but I didn't stay out there but just a couple of 3 months to go into that particular school. But anyway, he was first sergeant when he was mobilized, but he got a 90-day wonder, second lieutenant, he moved on up. So then, they come time, I was in K company, and this captain, they traded him and I company commanders. And he come back and was gonna take me with him. And my first sergeant at that time, like I say, I was the only man in the company that could use a typewriter.
You learned that in high school?
In high school, yeah. So this first sergeant told him, said, well, if you send him out, you can take my stripes. Because I'm not going to sit at that typewriter and pick back all day and all night. So the captain said, well, let him stay over here a while. So I stayed there until we got to Mississippi. Then they put me in high company. And I acted as company clerk in a whole lot of different things, anything that they could come up with. That's before I shipped out over the wall, during the time we was in Mississippi.
Then you got to, when you got to New Guinea, were you a postal clerk then, or?
I had found out at that time that I was a postal clerk and get me out of the industry.
Good. Well, you told me, you mentioned to me that you did, on 1 or 2 occasions, you did file a BAR.
Right.
And
that was,
I don't. Snipers or?
Yeah, Japanese snipers and all. I can barely, I don't even want to remember it. A couple of my friends got lost all over there. I don't remember a lot about it.
But you, there's still, when you landed at Fort Mosby, that had not been cleared out of jail.
No. In fact, I don't really, well, it might have, I don't know, but they were still Japanese bombers coming over. And it just so happened that our unit was on a small creek went down, and there was quite a bit of steep creek bed went down into that little creek. And we'd hear these planes coming in, we'd dive to that bed and slide down into the creek. They never did bomb us.
Oh, they just flew over?
Well, now
They went somewhere else?
they went somewhere else, and again, I don't have any guarantee that there was Japanese bombers. I don't recall, but if a plane came over, we hit for the ditch.
How long were you in New Guinea? You remember?
Oh, it was over a year, I guess. I don't remember. See, I was only overseas, I think less than 18 months, or something like that. Well, it might not have been a year. I don't remember. And I went from there to the Philippines, Manila, the Philippines.
And at this time, though, you were working all this time as a postal in the postal union?
No, I got busted there. I was still with the postal unit, but I wasn't working much mail. This guy that busted me, I had a master sergeant. He was actually his first sergeant, and this captain would call me in, and he really had no reason. And this sergeant told him as much. He didn't have any reason to take my stripes. And that captain said, I can take your stripes and I'll rip them off in a minute if you don't shut up. So that was the end of that. He took my stripes, and even though he had no reason to, just one of those things.
You never got them back?
No. And I had told him flat out that I would never work for him, because we had been working blood and sweat. I mean, it was terrible, but I told him then I would never work as hard for him.
And you were in Manila then?
Yeah,
What did you do, mostly sort packages you were?
Packages in bags of mail,
Oh.
sorted. A lot of it would come in a bag and have to go to this place or that place, we sorted that, and then a lot of it was all parcel post, most all of it was very, very little first class mail. It was all parcel post packages and stuff. We separated and shipped to different units around, all around.
Was the war still going on in the Philippines?
Oh, yeah.
And then you moved on up to Japan, I think you told me.
Yeah. But I was only there a few weeks, I wasn't there.
The war was over by then.
Yeah.
I believe you told me you were on a typhoon one time.
Yeah, that was on the way to Japan, I think now. And we was on that LST, which sits on top of the water just about, and that typhoon had that thing rocking and rolling. We had, what I tell you, they call them, they lay them across waterways and trucks can cross on top of the water. And we had one of them as long as that ship, one on each side. And that typhoon tore both of them off, which tore all the railing off the ship and everything. There was no railing or anything left on the ship. But we didn't make it. We survived it, luckily.
You were going from Philippines up to Japan, right? And you were only in Japan 2 or 3 weeks?
Well, just a few weeks, I don't recall.
See.
It was probably more than that because I had enough points. They discharged you on the amount of points you had. And I had more points than a lot of them, but there were some older men in there, and they let them go first. In fact, one of the fellows, he was also from Fort Worth, Texas there, and he was, at that time, I think he was 48 years old. And he was the first one to take my place going out. And then there was 2 or 3 others, and they let you go on the mountain.
Well, you had, they counted your time from the time you joined the National Guard, and that was 1939.
Right.
And this was 1945.
Right.
Yeah.
But, well, again, that's the way, I don't recall just how they got those points, but you had to have, you needed so many points. But there was a few of them there that hadn't been in very long, and they had very few points. Now, I'm talking about still in Japan, as I recall, and they would be left there for some time, but all us fellows been in there a long time, had enough points.
Did you ever think about what you were doing to your country, or you?
Oh, sure. And even I can recall at times wondering if just sorting that mail was doing enough. But then you'd think what would happen to the morale of all the other people if they wasn't getting packages and mail from home and this kind of thing. So,
Sure.
And I think, well, I was doing my share.
Yeah.
Luckily, that's where I was. I was very fortunate.
Well, you had to, but did you never join? You never went to work for the post office?
No.
The,
I thought about it, and in fact, I did have an opening at one time, and I had choices of where I would go to work, but I chose other work instead.
The outgoing mail, who was doing the censoring of it? Was it officers or?
No, we were all, that was going from us out of the country
Right.
back to our, there wasn't much censoring going on there. Because what could you do, you know, really? But,
did you do any? Did you do any censoring, you or the officer or anybody?
I don't think.
Tom you understand what he's talking about?
Yeah.
They used to line out in black
Yeah.
things that they thought were sensitive, that the enemy should not know.
Well, this is probably after that time. I don't think they considered any of that back then. I don't think. Now, there was a man that, he had worked as a railway postal clerk before the war, and he was a sergeant. And he got caught going through some of the mail, opening up a couple of packages. And they took him, we were sleeping in what they call squad tents, 6 men in a tent. And he was taken around to a tent, and they turned the dog loose around there. And that's where he stayed. I don't know when he left there, and I don't know what they ever did to him, but he stayed in that tent, and they'd go and hold that dog and let him go eat. But that dog wandered around that tent. That's what kept him in there. He also had, to show you what kind of man he was, he had naked pictures of, he said, his wife, naked, and he's trying to sell them for $0.25 apiece. Now that's what kind of person he was, and they caught him opening up.
Well, he was going through mail looking for pictures of.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But he said that was his wife.
Great. Well, Pete, have you got anything else you'd like to tell us?
I don't know anything really. I sure don't.
But-
All I can say, I'm lucky. I was fortunate.
Well, we were fortunate that you did. I was a little kid in St. Georgia. And on behalf of American people, I'd like to thank you for what you did.
There was one situation there. We was in the Philippines. Like I say, they still had some snipers around there. And we were on a truck, and a sniper shot from way out yonder somewhere. And the guy next to me, I was sitting on his left, and the bullet hit him in the left leg. That's how close it come to me.
That's as close as you ever got.
Well, it's fortunate, thankfully, very thankful.
Thank you, Pete.
Yes, I just feel so fortunate. Plus, I've lived all these years. You got all this you want.